What's up guys, and welcome back to a brand new video, and we are here on F1 22 once again for another episode of my F1 22 career mode. And today we're here for the Spanish Grand Prix and also the Monaco Grand Prix. I'm going to be doing two races in the one video for a change, just to shape it up for you guys. So if you missed the last episode of the career mode, I will leave a card at the top right of the screen if you guys want to go and watch that. And for anyone who has seen it, spoilers now, that we did finish 10th. We're on a continuous streak right now in the points. We finished 6th at Imola and we finished 10th in Miami, which was the last race. So we're quite on a very big high here. And as we came to Spain, I wasn't looking too confident with the car, because in the past the AI has been very rapid around Spain, and it looks to me that it's not really changed too much since then. The car felt not too bad around the circuit actually, because our car is a lot better for the chassis and aerodynamic side than it is on the power unit side, because I think we've got one of the worst power units on the grid right now, so it's not really going to do us any well. And as you can see, we come to the end of qualifying here. We've done 2 runs, and the result of our pace is set as P20 on the grid, out-qualifying Oscar once again. So we've out-qualified him 3 times in a row now, which is quite good on our side. Very close pace with him as well, but unfortunately for us it's P20 and P21, but it is what it is with how we are with our car right now. I believe we're the 10th quickest car on the car performance list from what I can remember, so it goes Williams and then us, then Aston Martin. So you know, there's going to be some tracks where we struggle and there's going to be some tracks where we don't. And as you can see, as we start the formation lap, there's a mix of strategy here between soft tyres and the medium tyres. We've went for the medium. We could have gambled on the softs, but instead we've stuck with the mediums, just sticking to what we know best pretty much. And now as you can see, the lights are coming on here. We've got Vettel ahead of us, we've got our teammate behind us, all lights are on, and now they're off as Carlos Sainz and Lewis Hamilton take us away here. They're side by side, and I tell you what, Lewis Hamilton has an absolutely fantastic start there. We can't say too much about that though, because we've actually dropped behind our teammate Oscar Piastri there, but we've actually made up for the time. As we go into turn 1, we've braked very late beside Oscar. We're side by side with him there. Vettel battling with Albon here. He's made the move now, side by side with Stroll. Vettel's understeering quite heavily there. Look at Ricardo, he's understeering even more ahead of us. And then we've got a fantastic exit side by side with Albon, getting very close between us here. 3 wide actually between Albon, Stroll and Ricardo. Stroll's been bogged down, Ricardo's held on his position. Albon is side by side with Stroll, and now we've taken an opportunist dive down inside on the 2 of them here as we go into the next corner. We've actually made that double overtaking. A little bit of contact with Stroll there causes us to lose a little bit of the rear end as we fly through the next left right-hander, and we're up into P17. That was very intense through the first sector of the Spanish Grand Prix. It's very close ahead of us as well, as we now skip on to the end of lap 1. Round outside of Yuki Tsunoda we go here. It's all getting bunched up. Ricardo's been bogged down there. Ocon's made the move on him. We're right on the back of Ricardo and Tsunoda. Tsunoda is now off the track there, so I don't know what's happened to him. He's made a little mistake at the final corner, and now we're into the slipstream of Ricardo, and we're actually picking up the toe of Ocon ahead of us to make sure we try and get this move done on Ricardo. Ricardo's been very late. We've went quite a little bit wide there, but we've got the traction to go round outside of the McLaren driver, and we've done that well, and we've made the move on Daniel Ricciardo. But as we now skip quite further on to the Grand Prix, Ricciardo is fighting back at us here because he has got the soft compound tyres compared to our medium tyres. We're trying to hold it round outside, but we've not got enough traction compared to Ricciardo's McLaren, and he's passed us there for P13. So that's not good on our side, and you know, we're just falling back. And as we move on to lap 12 here, quite far on actually, because we've just been falling back quite slowly, and we've been carrying a massive chain of cars behind us, which just can't pass at all really, because you know, you can't really pass too much of the circuit. And as you can see, that was Guan Yu Zhou who went off the track, and a lap later actually his teammate Valtteri Bottas done the exact same thing at the same corner. And they lost quite a lot of time, but luckily on their side they were far enough ahead of us to regain their positions and not lose out on their side. As we skip on to lap 16, the drivers are now starting to make their first and only pit stop of the race. The guys that started on the medium, like myself and such, are now pitting for the hard compound tyres. We stayed out on that extra few laps actually, because I felt not too bad with the car, and we could actually get the overcut on a few cars here, especially with a pit stop like that, which was fantastic. And as you can see, I was nearly right, because that's Valtteri Bottas just coming down the main straight, and we've actually rejoined just behind them there. We were about 3-4 seconds behind them before the pit stops, and we've rejoined about 2 seconds behind. But the only problem we have now is we fall quite far behind due to the tyre grip on brand new tyres, which will be very cold. And as we skip on to lap 19, as we now settle on the hard compound tyres, Fernando Alonso is out the Grand Prix due to this massive mechanical problem he's had there. The engine is just completely gone, or something's not went right inside that Alpine car, and he is out of the race. And as we now skip on to lap 30, yeah, I know, lap 30, we're near enough at the Grand Prix in here, and this is Alexander Albon going down inside of us there. Very close contact between the two of us, Vettel just holding back. So very close between myself and Albon there. And we've honestly just been leading this train of cars. There's about 8 cars in this here, and as we come to the line here on the final lap of the Grand Prix, Lewis Hamilton has won the race, and we come home for P13 with a huge train of cars behind us there, and we've managed to take P13 in this Grand Prix. Now, it was a very quick race, I know, because nothing was happening, and as I said in my previous videos, I do not want to be showing you guys boring bits, and I've tried to find as much footage as I possibly can, and Spain was just horrendous pretty much. It was just a complete dire race, and it was very boring on my side as well. I was driving for 15 laps, I had Vettel and Albon behind me. They weren't making moves, they weren't gaining, no one was passing. It was really just the exact same pace, but I would say we did struggle quite a lot on the hard compound tyres, which was not great, but luckily for us, Spain is quite a hard track to pass. And we just had enough pace in the bag to not let the guys behind us attack us. Nothing's changed in the Drivers' Championship and the Constructors as well, but I tell you what has changed is our MGU-H, because it's now starting to wear quite heavily, and we don't want any more mechanical problems going into Monaco, because I feel like for Monaco we could make a lot of potential higher positions here, because you know Monaco's Monaco and there could be loads of safety cars. We might crash out the race, but you never know. So for Monaco, I've decided we're going to do something special. So I'm going to have a special helmet, and we're also going to change the livery of the car. Now we're going to stick to its base livery that you guys have known for the previous episodes in this career mode. But what we're going to do is we're going to swap the red at the front and rear wing for light blue, and let's hope that light blue will bring us a bit of luck as we head to the Principality, which is Monte Carlo. But I tell you what, the light blue livery's not done us quite well here, because as you're about to see, that's definitely not part of the plan, was it? Because we were heading out to do a flying lap in practice, but instead Perez has decided to crash into the wall, and because we've not driven out of the garage, instead because we selected the flying lap option, the lights for us to take over has went out the second we tried to pass Perez, and we could do nothing about it. So FP1 was a write-off pretty much. We're just written off completely, and a massive amount of damage to the car. But we made up for it in FP2 and got all the jobs done, and as you can see what you've just seen there now, our MGU-H has now been fitted to the car just in time for qualifying here. So we get qualifying underway. The conditions, as you can see, are very sunny, very nice, and I'm now looking to see what we can push out our car for this qualifying session, because it's going to be very close between all the cars. Look at that! We were sideways heavily going into Lowe's hairpin and didn't do a lap any well, but I just wanted to show you guys that save, because I was quite impressed with myself how I managed to not go into the wall. And we finished our first flying lap 6/10 off Schumacher's best, so it wasn't the best first flying lap. So we decided to actually go for another run halfway through the quali session. We plan to do 3 runs because I feel like the potential here is very high. And as you can see, the delta, we are pretty much a second up on our lap, and just like that, we are half a second off Sergio Perez there in P4, and we've managed to smash the lap time that we previously did, and that set us in P6. But now as we head into the end of qualifying, look at the timer at the top right there. We have just made it with 2 seconds to go, because I wanted to leave it to last second in this qualifying, and it's been another fantastic lap here so far from us as we come out of the final corner. Time is up, we're currently P15, everyone's improved on their lap, it's very close between everyone's times. We are 2/10 up, and the result of our lap being 2/10 up has now led us to P9 for the Monaco Grand Prix, which is absolutely fantastic, especially for qualifying, considering we're never in the top 18 barely. But look how close it is between the whole pack. Like, between a 10th and 2/10 means so much. And if you've seen there at the top, just like George Russell and Charles Leclerc, Russell missed out by 5/1000 of a second to Leclerc for pole position, which is very crucial for this Grand Prix. So that's a shame on his side, but I'm sure Leclerc will probably, you know, retire because he has no luck at Monaco anyway. So yeah, normally the strategy here would be medium to hard, but what we've decided to do is we've actually decided to start on the softs, because I thought the degradation isn't too bad on these tyres, so I thought maybe we can just push the car to hell at the start on the soft tyres, maybe risk a little bit and then go a long way on the hards. And if you notice as well, we actually start P8, and that's because Lewis Hamilton has a grid penalty and starts 11th, and the lights are on here. The start could be very crucial here because you know it's very hard to pass, so off we go then. And it's a very decent start from everyone there, not too great start from us. So we nearly lose the rear end into Gasly. And talking about Gasly, he's went down the inside of us and also Kevin Magnussen. That is a brilliant move from Gasly, and as Leclerc leads Russell and Sainz, and up the hill we go here into Casino Square. It's very close between Magnussen and Gasly, and we're very close to the back of Magnussen, taking the dive down the inside, as Gasly has now made up 2 places at the start, and that is fantastic for an AI, to be honest. And Norris now down the inside of Magnussen. Magnussen has lost out heavily at the start there, and there's a yellow flag, but I would think that's because everyone's going so slow through Lowe's hairpin here, as I show you one of the best shots in Formula 1, because I do love this shot, very classic from Monaco. And yeah, everyone's kept it very clean on lap 1. And now as we skip later on into the race, Magnussen has actually got wing damage, but due to that, no one can get past him. He's not got the biggest amount of wing damage, but he has held up the pack a lot. As you can see, if you look at the full track map there, we have got a gap of about 10 seconds to Magnussen now. So there's a pack of 9 of us here, all close, and Magnussen just dropped behind. But as we skip on to lap 14, our tyres is now starting to fade off. As you can see, 72% wear at the rear there, and Norris has now went round our outside. So we've tried our best to keep Norris behind, but our tyres just wearing off at the end there. We tried to send our nose down the inside at Casino Square there, and we think better about that, because that would have never ended well. And as we now skip on to lap 14, we're sliding round the corner there, and we're now coming into the pits for our only stop of the race, getting a good turn in as well. To be fair, I was very close to the limit, but I'm surprised that's a good one. I thought that'd be the optimal one, considering it was 0.4 away. But yeah, our gamble for strategy didn't really pay off. We tried to do something different and it didn't really pay off, but now we're going to go to the end, and all the runners are making their pit stops, as that's Guan and Yu Zhou, who's just went into the wall there. He's locked up, made a mistake, and he's out of the Grand Prix as we now approach him into the first corner. Surely that's going to be some sort of safety car, right? But if it's not, it's actually not. The car's cleared already. Which is quite surprising. Very disappointing as well, because we could have done with a safety car. But mind you, the guys who had never pitted, such as Norris, who's actually just came out ahead of us, would have gained a lot more from the safety car than what we would have had to do, because you know we have to stick to our delta, and maybe that might have not been the best thing for us. So but yeah, we settled in behind Norris. Norris just dropped us after that, and as you can see, it's getting a bit chaotic here in the front pack with Perez and Verstappen trying to get past back markers. That was Valtteri Bottas. You know, back markers round here is very insane. As now we skip on to lap 38, we're on to the final lap of this race, because nothing has happened once again. But I tell you what has happened. Leclerc has only went and won the Monaco Grand Prix. Now that's something I never thought I'd ever see, but you know, because it's the F1 game, anything can happen, and Leclerc has won in Monaco, which is fantastic to see. And we have came home to take P9 for the team there. That is fantastic, grabbing 2 points for the team, and you know, just around Monaco to score points is great for us. But yeah, it's a very quick race, and look at that, Nicholas Latifi taking driver of the day, lovely to see. But nothing had happened after the pit stop. We just had to keep our cool, drive away. We had Ocon and Hamilton behind us quite close at one stage, but they dropped off quite later on when, you know, the front runners were trying to lap them, especially Leclerc at the end. They lost so much time. We're actually the last of the lead lap cars to finish the race, so 9 cars did not get lapped, which is very insane actually, because for Monaco, having half the pack lapped is pretty insane. As you can see, for the championship, we've now dropped down to 13th. We've got 11 points, and for the constructors as well, we fall behind AlphaTauri and Alfa Romeo, dropping Aston Martin a little bit as well there, but Aston Martin's still a threat to us really early on in this season. So I'd still say 7th place in the constructors is definitely possible if everything all goes our way later on into the season. And yeah, that was that. So that was the Spanish Grand Prix and the Monaco Grand Prix. And as we now look forward to the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, I have to say I do think Azerbaijan is going to be one of the most challenging Grand Prix of the season for us, because we have not got the greatest of power units, and Azerbaijan really is a power circuit. But we've had to replace a few components as well, as they're now starting to come to the end of their time. They're wearing quite heavily now, and we can't afford a DNF. And we've also signed a third sponsor as well for the team, which is great to see, adding more sponsors to the car and making it look a lot better as well. So that's that, guys. I really hope you've enjoyed the video. Make sure to leave a like if you've enjoyed, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know if you think I should do more of these double races as well. And yeah, remember to subscribe to the channel as well if you're new, to never miss any of my videos. Got all good sorts of content coming for you in the next week, such as my British Grand Prix recreation, which will be making its debut on the F1 22 game, which you guys I'm sure will be excited about, so I can't wait to show you that. But yeah, guys, hope you have a fantastic day. Take care now, and I'll see you in the next video.
And it's lights out and away we go.